toxic masculinity.
Biden slammed for trying to force Christian doctor to violate religious beliefs.
Yeah, so here's the thing about Joe Biden. He's supposedly a Catholic, and he's got this like deep Catholic faith. They're always talking about like, oh, he's so Catholic, he's so amazing. For the record, there are some conservatives who are Catholic and some that are Protestant, and you know, some that are a little bit more, you know, whatever, atheist or whatever. And there's a lot of infighting, I find, among Christians, like, oh, Catholics are evil, or, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses are bad, or Mormons are crazy, or something like that. And I always hate this, because I always think, like, everybody's worshiping the same God. They all believe in Christ. They're all, you know, all these different people are living essentially by the main themes of Christian ideas, right? So why are we criticizing other faiths for certain sort of traditional ideas or problems with, like, you know, that they've had in the structure of their, like, it's just like, to me, if you're Christian, don't be criticizing other Christians in that way. That to me is pretty awful. So I actually like Catholics. Some of my good friends are Catholic. My family was Catholic before I was born. We all switched to being Protestant after I was born. We thought that was a more accurate view of the scriptures.
Why he's texting me now?
Kurt, what did he write?
See his texts?
What did he write?
Touching kids doesn't make you Catholic.
What?
Touching kids doesn't make you Catholic.
Oh, Kurt! Why did I even ask? Why did I even ask?
Exactly.
No nasty jokes. Did he not write that to me? Oh yeah, no. All right, anyway. Okay, so let's see here. Catholic vote slams devout Catholic Biden for trying to force Christian doctors to violate religious beliefs. Yeah, so Biden, although he calls himself a Catholic, he doesn't govern with any apparent Christian values. He just does whatever the left wants him to do, which sounds a lot. You know, we always talk about how leftism is kind of a religion, right? They are sort of, these leftists believe these left-wing doctrines with almost a religious fervor, right? And they all contradict Christian values. So it's like, you got to pick one or the other. You know, what's going to guide your morality? You know, centuries old Christian values that have shaped the Western world, or leftist crazy dogma. Okay, so let's see here. Catholic Vote, I guess, is an organization. Catholic Vote president Brian Birch slammed President Joe Biden Wednesday for filing an appeal that would force Christian doctors to violate their religious beliefs. And you might think this is about abortion, but it isn't. It's about transgender surgery. The Biden administration appeal hinges on a 2016 Obama-era interpretation of a non-discrimination clause of the Affordable Care Act, resulting in a mandate, the Affordable Care Act being the, you know, Obamacare, resulting in a mandate that did not include conscience or religious exemptions. I never learned to read. The mandate required doctors and hospitals to provide transgender surgeries upon a mental health professional's referral. Birch highlighted that through major media outlets, reporters and press secretary Jen Psaki have celebrated Biden's Catholicism as devout. The new president has frequently enacted policy that directly contradicts Catholic teaching. Can anyone name a single thing about Joe Biden's Catholicism that makes him different in any way from the radical left? Birch asked the Daily Caller News Foundation. He's now in favor of forcing Catholic doctors to violate their own medical judgment and deeply held religious beliefs. So if you're a doctor, you cannot not cut people's junk off if they want you to. Joe Biden may have grown up as a devout Catholic, but it sure seems like he's transitioning into something else. Oh, that's very clever. That's very clever, Birch. Transitioning. It's funny. Despite Biden's frequent references to his faith and common media praise of the president's Catholicism, the former vice president has drawn criticism for supporting and advocating for policies which the Catholic Church explicitly opposes. This is most notable in Biden's abortion policy. The Catholic Church teaches that abortion is a crime against human life, constitutes a grave offense, and a person who obtains abortion is automatically excommunicated from the Catholic Church. During his very first days in office, however, Biden promised to revoke the Mexico City policy, which prevents federal funds from going to abortions abroad, and vowed to make Roe versus Wade the law of the land. He also took steps to undo former President Donald Trump's Protect Life rule, which prohibited Title X families. Title X? Title 10? I think it's Title 10. Title 10 family planning program funds from going to organizations that perform or promote abortions, and reversed Trump's ban on using abortion fetal tissue for taxpayer-funded research. I don't think that's too common anymore, actually. I think for the most part, stem cells can be taken from other tissue. It doesn't have to be taken from fetal tissue anymore so much. So I don't think that's such a big deal anymore. I may be wrong about that, but that's what I think is true. Last week, the Biden administration announced it's lifting the Food and Drug Administration's former restriction on abortion drugs, allowing the abortion pill to be delivered by mail during the coronavirus pandemic. So yeah, he doesn't really use his faith so much as a guide for, for his policies, to take a moral view of his policies. He rather takes, the leftist ideology. And I think this is very dangerous, right? Because this is essentially what the Germans did in the 1930s. They said, well, we need to take a scientific approach to governance, and so we need to experiment on human beings, and we need to they were into eugenics. The 1930s Germans were really into eugenics, which meant you basically kill off all the weak and infirm people, people who are like have mental illness and stuff like that, and like physical maladies. They're born crippled and stuff like that. You just kill them off, and then you grow this sort of healthy stock of whatever your group is. So you grow a healthy stock of Germans or whatever it is. Yeah, and that's what you will inevitably slide into, I think. That kind of eugenics, that kind of governance, if you just take God, you take religion out of politics completely, take it out of your own life, and you just follow the dogma of your political party, you're going to end up with those kind of policies. In the Soviet Union, that's what they did. In the Soviet Union, religion was illegal. You couldn't be Christian, and all their policies were based on science. And so many people starved to death in Russia. It was all about managing things in a scientific way, which that did an amazing job. By amazing, I mean terrible. Darling, do you have anything to say about this? Come on. We all want Valeria. Come on, guys.
No, I have nothing to say about this article either. Because I am having a massive headache right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Could you read the next?
Sorry. It's this weather. It's like clouds. It's like trying to. When there's a weather like this, I'm like, I'm done.
It does make you sleepy when there's when it gets like cloudy and overcast in LA. It does make you a little sleepy.
I have a headache because weather is changing. Like 2 days ago it was super hot. Now it's cold and it's raining. It's like, oh my gosh,
it's a weird thing. Like in Oregon, you grow up with overcast most days and it's sunny out, and you're like, yeah, let's go do something, and you run outside and you go have some fun. In LA, it's like sunny every single day, so a sunny day isn't anything special. But I love it when it rains. If it rains or there's overcast, I'm like, I want to go jogging or something. I want to get outside.
I just want to die.
But if you're inside kind of cozied up, with like a cup of cocoa or something, yeah, you want to kind of nap or something. There's something about the overcast in LA that does make people sleepy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough of that divergence. Shall we read the next story?
Yeah. Manhattan DA's office will no longer prosecute prostitution cases. Yeah, because people need to make money. Like
you got to do something during the pandemic.
Yeah.
As soon as the pandemic hit and, our pocketbooks were, because Valeria couldn't work anymore, I was like, Valeria, I got a new career for you. And that was day trading crypto, not prostitution. But let's have a look at the folks who do want to talk about prostitution here. No, sorry, I grabbed the wrong story. There we go. Manhattan DA's office will no longer prosecute prostitution. Well, here's the thing about that. A lot of people on the right agree with that. They're called libertarians. Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.